X versus X sports founder Metta World Peace is now joining us. Metta, so great to have you. We appreciate you taking the time. What was your first thought when you saw this last night?
Yeah, thanks for having me. When I saw it, you know what? It made me shake because I remember, when I was in the Palace and when I ran into the stands, the gentleman I ran after, he put his hand up because he bet John Green $50 that John Green couldn't hit me, which I'm cool with John. Me and John speak like once a month. But, he bet him $50 and people always said I hit the wrong person. So, during that time, when you see somebody raise their hand, the game is not even happening. Ben Wallace is upset. I'm on the scorer's table. There's nothing else to be cheering about, right? And so when I saw that, I ran in the direction within a split second. And a lot of people thought I hit the wrong person, but I didn't. The guy made a bet. One guy hit me. And, I lost $6 million. My LA Gear deal was gone. Carl Jr. commercial, gone. TNT, everything was gone. But I was upset. I had an issue. Now with Westbrook was just coming off an injury. He was upset. He's passionate. You can't control that. Luckily, he had those security around him because Westbrook is a passionate player from California, right? So, and you look at his passion, you can't prepare for that. You can't prepare to say, okay, a guy hit me, I'm going to relax. I'm going to go in the locker room. As you can see, Russell needed to be held a little bit to understand, like, hey, you got a lot at stake. You don't want to run in a stance.
Go ahead. So, Metta, how did you know that it was that you were going after the guy who made the bet? How did you sort of figure that out on the fly?
It was real simple to me because there was nothing to cheer about. During the game, if somebody hits a three, the fans go, yay, they put their hands up. If somebody gets a dunk, they go, yay, they put their hand up. I just got hit, and somebody went, yay. I'm thinking, oh, you happy? I just got hit. Boom, I was up there in 3 seconds, right? And I didn't throw a punch at that guy. I didn't start throwing punches until John punched me. I'm cool with John now, but I ain't throw a punch until John started punching me. You know what I'm saying? But the other fan has yet to come forward, which I would like him to come forward. But the only reason I know the story is because me and John talk. John's like a sports fan. He crazy. You know what I'm saying? He drink beer and just crazy. And he told me the whole story, right? And apologized before. I wish the Pistons organization would apologize. The Sixers organization apologized. Meanwhile, I lost everything, future contracts, every deal, and, I didn't get no apology, but it's okay. I never trip. I ain't going to cry about it. It's all right.
So do you wish there'd been some security guards there to restrain you from going into the stands?
I mean, yeah, man, that's another defensive player of the year. Yep. I'm competing with Ben Wallace to be one of the best in that era. Now I lost that battle.
Yep.
That's another first team all defense. I just came off third team all NBA. So that's a first team or second team all NBA. Another all-star. I was the only person to be in the all-star game before LeBron. And the only all-star game LeBron was in was the one I was in. So that's something else with legacy. You know what I'm saying? So that's a lot at stake, plus future contracts. No team wanted to touch me, which I get. And you know what? I take ownership. But, it made me shake a little bit when I seen that.
But we look at it, we talk about the Russell Westbrook, but I don't know if you've seen the Trae Young, but Trae Young is in the Madison Square Garden. He's trying to inbound the ball, and someone in the second row is courtside, and then the section, the row right behind him. And it looks like someone spit in his direction. How do you control that? Now, it seems like Trae did not know this was happening until he saw the video on Twitter, and he kind of laughed it off. But can you imagine, Metta, being in that situation? And you're given that we're coming out of COVID and someone does that, it's hard to control that rage in which you're going to have towards that person, knowing the disrespect that someone, if they spit on you, they basically think less than you than ground.
Well, they got the angles. We had to go to court for the brawl, and we saw all the angles they didn't show on television, which is a little bit, discouraging because I feel like they should show the angles. Even with the brawl, you see me running into the stand, but they never show when the guy threw the cup. And this is happening way too much. Like, show everything. And this is going to be an easy angle to catch, to be spit on. This is, if Trae would have saw that was spit, he probably would have been in the stands. Like, now we're going to see what it is, but and I'm from New York, you know, and I love the Knicks being from New York. I want to, you know, I love the fans, but hey, you know, that's a little too much. Yeah. That's a little too much.
Yeah, there are limits. I understand passion, but you can take passion over. And plus, like I said, you know, I read a story, but I don't know if it was here, the States, or overseas, but an Uber driver got spit on by a lady. He ends up dying because he caught COVID. We're coming out of a pandemic, Skip, and we put on masks because we don't, and you and I have been, Jenny hadn't been over here in over a year. You and I make sure we try, when you talk, I try to lean back. When I talk, you try to lean back, so we don't do that. And we've both been vaccinated. And here I am playing. Ooh, I'm going out there, and somebody just spit on me, Metta. Man, I ain't gonna even lie, Metta. I can't. I'm not gonna be able to control that. If I'd have been like you, I'd have been up in the sand.
And you know, Trae's a real nice guy, right?
He is.
He has a killer instinct in him. And I mean, when you got that killer instinct, you know, you can't turn it off. Like even you guys are turned on when you're working. You guys bring it every day. You know, you bringing that passion to your job. You can't just turn that off.
No.
So, you know, one of your coworkers throw a cup of water on top of your head. You know, you turned on. You know, interrupting Skip while he's talking. Imagine a coworker interrupting Skip and throwing coffee in his face.
Yeah, I mean, there's limits to this.
So, Metta, in the neighborhood you grew up in, if you were walking down the street and some stranger came up and threw a cup of Coke on you or whatever it would be, some soft drink on you, how would you have responded? Because I know you a little bit. You're also mild-mannered, but you have some killer instinct in you.
Well, luckily, I went through the brawl incident. But, you know, prior to the brawl incident, you know, like when I got drafted, I went right back to the hood. Like literally, I had my whole hood at the draft. You know, we're taught like different, right? And that's just not acceptable. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I've seen people die for less.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got these kids that's coming from these environments that's, you know, populating these professional sports leagues. It's hard to turn it off. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's hard to just turn it off. You know, you're trying to provide for your family. You're trying to do as best as you can while trying to leave the baggage in the back or, you know, in the past, you know, and people don't really understand how difficult that is for certain athletes. You know, so, you know, I just, you know, with the fans, man, I really hope that if they get banned, that's cool, whatever the case may be. But I hope that they think about this, you know, and they also need to show the face publicly. You can't just be banned and not show face publicly. Come on the shows. Why did you do that? You know, you gotta face that. You just can't go off in a sunset and people just forget about you.
Metta, you know this. No matter what hood, no matter how hard, how soft, everything is based on respect. You show respect, you give respect, you'll get respect. But if you become disrespectful, no matter what, and I've obviously never been to prison, but I have a lot of homeboys that have. And the one thing they'll tell you, they don't care how big, they don't care how small, you better respect everybody in there or they will eat you up. You go to any hood, Brooklyn, Brownsville, Brooklyn, Jamaica, Queens, the Bluff in Atlanta, Detroit, wherever. If you do not give respect, they'll come for you. If you don't show a person respect at the game when he's doing his craft, hey, what you expect him to do? You just gonna openly, blatantly disrespect the man. Why? Because you paid $1,000, $2,000, $500 for a ticket and they think you give you the right to be disrespectful? Nah, that's not how it works.
I mean, I think the talking is okay. Like at Detroit, we was in those playoffs in Detroit.
Yeah.
And those fans, they write up on you and saying everything in the book. And I was okay with that. But you can't, when you start throwing stuff
yes.
and spitting, like that's the issue. The talking is the issue, but you know what? We understand. People passionate. Fans are passionate. But when you start throwing stuff, that you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? This is ridiculous. You cannot do that.
So, Metta, is there a fix here? Would it help to add more security above the tunnel to keep people from throwing things on players as they leave?
You know, I think, I mean, I don't think that's necessary because there's always going to be a bad apple out of the batch. I just think they need to get those camera angles out and they need to show people that when you do this, you will be banned and also other, repercussions, maybe federal, state, local law enforcement. Maybe you go to jail for 2 days or something. You can't throw stuff at entertainers. You know, entertainers are there to entertain. We got sports back. Sports, America, we need sports, right? We need our musicians, right? All right, let's make them feel safe. Let's make them feel happy to be here, to be working for us.
So, Metta, when I first saw the Russell Westbrook popcorn incident, I told Shannon there was a part of me that wanted Russ to break free and go get that guy. And yet, the more I hear you talk and the more I see how much you lost, you lost a big part of your career. And it's not worth it in the end. You wish in the best, in a perfect world, it would be worth it, that the punishment should fit the crime, that you should be able to seek retribution yourself. But look what happened to this man. He lost a lot of money and a lot of career.
It's never worth it.
No.
It's not worth it. Not only, even if I didn't lose money, whatever the case may be, it's not worth it to come out, your zone as a professional athlete, but it's hard, but it's definitely not worth it. It's so not worth it.
All right, Metta, we really appreciate you joining us. It was important to get your thoughts here, and hopefully the Sixers statement serves just as a warning that this behavior, it's not going to be tolerated.
I think they heard me, Skip.
It's not going to be tolerated. Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.